Hi, welcome. May peace be on all of you. This is the first time that I have come in front of a cam. I hope that you will ignore all my silly mistakes and let us start our first class. In this class, we'll be discussing few things related to few basic things which we should cover before going deeper into the chemistry. So I would like to start first with the definition of chemistry. Before going into the definition of chemistry, one should have idea. We all have idea about the science. What is meant by science? However, I would like to once again give a definition about science. Science is a systematic way of gaining knowledge. It is a systematic way of pursuing knowledge. In any way, if you are gaining knowledge, that will be called as science. Suppose if you are if you are learning how to operate a computer, then that will be called as computer science. If you are trying to learn about a mobile, how to operate, how to switch on, switch off, everything. So, how to drive a vehicle. If you are learning something in a systematic way, that will be called as science simply. And coming to our chemistry, chemistry can be defined as it is a branch of science which deals with atoms, molecules and their transformation. This is the simple definition. So it is the transformation of atoms and molecules. In another way, chemistry can be defined as it is a branch of science which deals with the composition, which deals with the properties and which deals with the physical and chemical changes or physical and chemical reactions. I would like to give a definition with an example. This definition with an example. For example, if we take this marker, this pen, chemistry can be defined as the composition that is present in this pen. What actually it is containing, whether it is containing wood or plastic or any other material, and its preparation also comes here. So with what things it is made up of. First thing is its composition, what things are, what atoms are, what molecules are present in it, and second thing is how it is prepared, how it is manufactured. Third thing is what are its properties, where we can write, can we write it on a white board, or can we write on wooden board, or can we write it on a glass, or can we even write on a wall, etc. Then physical and chemical properties. What happens if I drop this pen? What happens if I put this pen in water? Or what happens if I heat this marker? What happens if I put some acid or base on this marker? What type of changes will take place in this marker? That is called as chemistry. So once again, I would like to revise the definition of chemistry. In simple terms, chemistry is the science of atoms, molecules and their transformation into some other substance. And in some more better format, we can give the definition of chemistry as it is a branch of science which deals with the composition of the substance and how it is prepared and what are its properties and what are the chemical reaction or chemical or physical changes that a substance is undergoing. That is called as the chemistry. Before going into the matter, I would like to give some more information about chemistry, how much it is very useful in our daily life. Chemistry you'll come across in every sort of life, in every part of life, from birth to death of a human being or animal or plant. Everything is associated with chemistry. If there is no chemistry, there is no understanding of life. There are various uses or applications, daily life applications of chemistry are there. Like it is useful in making of various chemicals like acids, bases. It is useful in the making of drugs, medicines. It is useful in the making of pesticides. It is useful in the making of fertilizers, in predicting weather patterns, functioning of brain, DNA, biochemical reactions, etc., etc., etc. Like this, chemistry has a very, very important role in our daily life. Now, coming to our topic, that is matter. I would like to start from universe. The whole universe can be divided into two types. We can classify the whole universe into two parts. One is non-matter, another one is matter. So first I would like to give the definition of matter. Matter can be defined as it is not that matter that what we usually say with our friends. Sometimes we say, what is the matter, friend? What happened like this? That is that kind of matter we are not talking here. It is a different matter here. Matter is anything which has got mass and which occupy space. Anything which has mass and occupy space, it will be called as matter. For example, if I take this marker again, this has got some mass. If we take this to some balance, it may weigh 50 grams or some 100 grams, and even this is occupying this space, some space. It is occupying some cylindrical space or some other some amount of space it is occupying. In our lower classes, we may have done some experiments to prove that whether air is a matter or not. How can we prove that air is a matter or not? Can you tell me that whether air is a matter or not? Yes, air is a matter. How can you prove that one? We in our lower classes we may have carried out some activities like inflating a balloon and inflating a balloon without air. When we weigh this one, the balloon with air, it will carry some weight, it will go down, and the balloon without air will come up. So this activity proves that air has weight, air has mass. And how can you prove that air occupies space? Take some bowl and take some water in it, invert a glass in it, you'll find out that water will come up. When you invert a glass in that water will overflow, indicating that because this glass already it contains some air in it, it is not, when you invert that glass into the water, that air is not allowing the water to enter into the glass. If you slightly tilt this glass, what happens? Some amount of air will come out first, then water will enter into this glass. So this activity proves that air occupies space. So like this, anything which has mass and which occupies space, that will be called as matter. Coming to the second part, the second classification is non-matter. Non-matter is the one which does not have any mass and it does not occupy any space. Okay. For example, if you take light or any X-rays or gamma rays, any type of electromagnetic radiation, they all come under non-matter, as they don't have any mass and they don't occupy any space. Some of my students sometimes they argue that light may occupy the space. If you are switching the light in a room, it is occupying the room, complete room. Sometimes they may argue, but you cannot even for the sake of argument, if you agree that light is occupying the complete room, the space of that room, you cannot say that it has mass. Some 2 kgs of light is coming from the tube light. When we walk in sunlight, some 10 kgs of sunlight is falling on our head. We cannot argue like that. So light and any other electromagnetic radiation, they does not fall under matter. Fine. Moving further, as we are aware of definition of mass, now one can classify whether the given substance is a matter or not. Now, matter can be classified into two types. It is one is pure substances, another one is mixture. Pure substances are those one which contain only one type of atoms or one type of molecules. Pure substance are the one which contains only single type of atoms or single type of molecules. If they contain only single type of atoms, then they are called as elements. If they contain only single type of molecules, then they will be called as compounds. Okay. For example, if you take elements, We have one more definition for elements, that is sometimes some students may get confused that what is the difference between atom and element. They are same, almost they are same. No, there is a difference between atom and element. Atom is the smallest particle or smallest part or smallest unit of a substance which takes part in a chemical reaction. Okay, whereas element is the basic form of matter which cannot be broken down further into simplest form. It is the basic form of matter. If you take any matter, if you go on breaking the matter, you will find or you will reach to such a position or such a point that that matter cannot be further broken down into simple form. I'll give more clarification about elements. Let us once have the definition of compounds also. Compounds are the one which are formed from two or more elements combination. These are the compounds, are the substances which are formed due to the chemical combination of two or more elements. When two or more elements combine together, then they'll give rise to, or then they'll form compounds. Let's have one example so that we can differentiate elements, atoms and compounds. Even we will have clear idea about molecules now. For example, take hydrogen H2, oxygen O2. Imagine they are giving rise to water. So hydrogen here is the element, and oxygen is also, it is in its elemental form, whereas H2O here is a compound. So as we said in the definition, that compounds are those substances which are formed due to the chemical combination of two or more elements. If two or more elements are combining together, if there is forming a chemical bond between, or there is undergoing a chemical change between these two elements, then that will give rise to a new substance that will be called as compound. Compound contains more than one type of element. Compound contain more than one type of element. See here, if you take water, it has hydrogen as well as it has oxygen. They are combining in a definite proportion. They are combining in a fixed proportion. If you take in water, hydrogen and oxygen are combining in 1:8 ratio by weight. That means 1 gram of hydrogen will combine with the 8 grams of oxygen. If you talk about volume, they combine in ratio 2:1. 2 liters of hydrogen will combine with 1 liter of oxygen to form water. So they have definite proportion. Their combining ratio is a definite one. In random ratio, we cannot mix the given elements here. So if we observe element here, hydrogen, you cannot further break this hydrogen into simple form. If you have a doubt about whether the given substance is element or compound, try to break down this substance. If you break down water, on carrying out electrolysis, water can be broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. So if we are able to break down the given substance into simpler form, then that is not a element. Now now we have broken down water into hydrogen and oxygen. Let us break down this hydrogen again. Can you break down hydrogen further into any other simple form? No, you cannot break down further. You cannot break down this hydrogen into further simplest form. Therefore, this is an element. This is the basic form of an element. That is hydrogen. You cannot further broken down into any other simple form. Now, atom. Atom is the smallest unit. It is present in every compound. If same type of atoms are present, say take hydrogen here, H2, same type of atoms are present here, then that is called as a molecule element. In this case, you will find two different type of atoms. One is two are hydrogens here, and one is oxygen. That means two different hydrogen and oxygen are present here. If two different elements are present, then that is compound. If only one type of atom is present, then that is called as a molecule. If only one type of atom is present, that is called as element. Now, what is molecule? Molecule is the one in which if in any compound, if more than one atom is present, more than one atom is present, then that will be called as molecule. Now here H2O is molecule, hydrogen is molecule, O2 is molecule, O3 is molecule, NaCl is molecule. Okay, so molecules are the one which have more than one atom. If that molecule is having same type of atoms, then that will be called as element. If a molecule is having different atoms, NaCl, different atoms, then that will be called as compound. If molecule O3, O2, H2, they have only one type of atoms, either they will have only hydrogens in it, only oxygens in it, even only oxygens in it here also, then they are called as elements. Now I think this clarifies the doubt between the elements, atoms, molecules and compounds. Okay, let us move further. Elements can be classified into 4 types. They are metals, non-metals, metallites and noble gases. Metals. On what basis can you call a substance as a metal or non-metal, metallites or a noble gas? So there are certain properties of the substances basing on which one can call the given substance as metal. So metals, they are generally hard solids. Metals are malleable in nature. Malleability means you can beat them into sheets. On beating them, you can convert them into sheets. That is called as malleability. They are malleable. They are ductile in nature. Ductile in nature means you can elongate them, prolong them in the form of wires. You can convert them into form of wires. They are called as ductility. Malleable, ductile. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. They conduct heat and electricity. They have high melting and high boiling points, etc. These are some basic properties of metals. Depending on these properties, one can call the given substance as metal. But there are certain exceptions even in metals, because certain metals are not malleable, certain metals are not ductile. For example, zinc, arsenic, antimony, they are not malleable, even they are not ductile. We said metals are generally hard solids. We have metal exception is here, that is mercury. Mercury is the only liquid metal, and even we have sodium, potassium. They are soft metals. You can cut even with a knife. So even exceptions are there. I don't want to go deeper into that. Now coming to non-metals. Non-metals, they may be solids, they may be liquids, they may be in gaseous state also. Generally, there are 10. I think there are 10 non-metals present in the periodic table. They are not malleable. They are not ductile. You cannot convert them into wires. You cannot beat them into sheets. They are not good conductors of heat and electricity. They have generally low melting and boiling points. Okay. Now again, some exceptions come in case of non-metals. Are exception is if you take carbon, the allotropic form of carbon, that is a graphite. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity, heat and electricity. Diamond is a hardest substance that has been found ever. Okay, and you can convert even one allotropic form of carbon is there. Fibers, carbon fibers. They are ductile in nature. Now coming to metallites. What are metallites? Metallites are those substances, are those elements which have some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals. Example: germanium, tellurium, arsenic, or etc. are some examples of non-metal. Even sometimes boron is considered as non-metal. Next, noble gases. Noble gases, for example, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, etc. are noble gases. Why we are calling them as noble gases? Because they are noble. They are past. They don't interfere with other atoms. They don't interfere with other compounds. So they are inert to any reaction. Therefore, they are called as noble gases. Examples of metals. One can give easily the examples of metals like silver, gold, platinum. Even metals can be classified into 3 types. If I go on into these metals, non-metals, metallites, noble gases, it will become a different topic. Some other time we will detailedly discuss on metals, non-metals, metallites and noble gases. Let us complete this one today for today's class. Now coming to the second part of the matter, second type of matter. First type is pure substances and second type is mixtures. So coming into mixtures, mixtures are again classified into how many types here? Mixtures are classified into two types. One is homogeneous mixtures and second one is heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixtures are the one in which the components are uniformly distributed. For example, if you take salt plus water, if you add salt to water, what happens? Salt will get dissolved in water. It will get dissolved in water and it will be distributed throughout the solution uniformly. If I divide this complete solution into four equal parts, imagine the solution, in this part, how many salt molecules and water molecules are present? Same number of salt molecules will be present in remaining three parts. If I divide the solution into 10 parts, in one part how many water molecules and salt molecules are there? Remaining in 9 parts also same number of water molecules and same number of salt particles will be present. This is called as homogeneous mixture. So homogeneous mixture is the one in which the components are uniformly distributed. Concentration will be same throughout the solution. Whereas on other hand, heterogeneous mixtures are the one which are not uniformly distributed. For example, if you take sand and water, what happens here? Sand will settle down at the bottom of the beaker. So indicating that more components are present at the bottom of the beaker. Sand components are present at the bottom of the beaker. That means this component, which is sand that we have taken here, they are not distributed uniformly here. So this is an example for heterogeneous mixture, whereas the example for homogeneous mixture is salt and water here. Now further moving, I would like to revise whole things once again that we have discussed in this class. That we have discussed about the definition of chemistry. So it is the branch of science which deals with the composition of the substance, its preparation, its properties and its reaction with other substances. And coming to our topic matter, the whole universe can be divided into two parts. One is matter, another one is non-matter. Matter can be defined as the substance which has mass and occupy space, that is called as matter, and non-matter is the one which have no mass and it does not occupy space. Example for non-matter is electromagnetic radiation, whole set of electromagnetic radiations. Now matter can be classified into how many types? Matter can be classified into two types. One is pure substances, another one is mixture. And pure substances, again they are classified into how many types? They are classified into two types. What is a pure substance? Pure substance contains only one type of elements or one type of molecules, one type of atoms or one type of molecules. Now elements, what is the definition of elements? Element is a basic form of matter which cannot be further broken down into simple form. You cannot break down them into further simplest form. Whereas compound are the substances which are formed from two or more elements, chemical combination of two or more elements in a fixed proportion, in a fixed ratio. Elements are classified into metals, non-metals, metalloids and noble gases. And we have seen certain properties to differentiate whether the given substance is metal, non-metal, metalloid or noble gas. Mixtures are classified into how many types? Mixtures are classified into two types. One is homogeneous mixture, another one is heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture is the one in which the components are uniformly distributed. The example that we have taken here is salt and water, or you can take even sugar solution. And the heterogeneous mixture is the one in which the components are not uniformly distributed. The example that we have taken here is sand and water. Sand will settle down at the bottom of the beaker, or you can take husk and water. What happens? Husk will float on water as it is less denser than water. It will float on water. So like this, we have seen some basics related to matter. And further moving, matter exists in how many states? Matter exists in 3 states. One is solids, another one is liquids, the third one is gases. And I would like to mention here that there are again 2 more types of states of matter. One is plasma state, which is called as 4th state of matter, and 5th state is Bose-Einstein condensate. Bose, Satyendranath Bose, our Indian scientist, and E stands for Einstein and C stands for condensate. So this is the 5th state of matter. How can one say that the given substance is solid? Basing on what properties we can define solids? The given substance is a solid substance. So solids, they have definite shape. If you take again this marker has got some shape. They have definite shape, they have definite volume, they occupy definite volume. The intermolecular forces of attractions, intermolecular forces of attraction, they have strong intermolecular force of attraction and less space. Intermolecular space is very less, or you can say there is no space, intermolecular space between molecule and molecule in case of solids. And you don't need a container. You don't need a container to hold these solids, and solids can be heaped. You put solid on floor. If you take sugar, when you put on floor, what will happen? They can be heaped. They can be heaped. Whereas in case of liquids have got no shape. If you put water in a glass, that water will acquire the shape of the glass. If you put water in a bowl, what happens? Water will acquire the shape of the bowl. So liquids have no shape. They don't have any shape. But liquids have definite volume. If you take 50 ml of water in a glass, there will be still 50 ml. If you put the same 50 ml in a bowl, again that will be even 50 ml there also. And intermolecular space here is very less intermolecular space is present here. Sorry, this is intermolecular force. Even intermolecular space as well as intermolecular forces are very less in case of liquids, and liquids need a container to hold them. Liquids need a container to hold them. Whereas gases don't have shape, they don't have volume, they don't have intermolecular force of attraction. The intermolecular space is very large here. Very large. The intermolecular space in case of gases is very large. And even for gases, they need a container to hold the gas. If you talk about effect of pressure on solids, effect of pressure is nil or very slight effect will be there on solids, and effect of pressure on liquids will be even in case of liquids also the effect of pressure is very slight, and in case of gases the effect of pressure is very high. Now what about plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate? These are the states which do not fit in these 3 cases. Plasma state and Bose-Einstein condensate, these are the 2 special cases, 2 special states whose properties do not fit in these 3 cases. Therefore we are studying them as a separate case, plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. Plasma state, what is plasma state? Plasma state is obtained when highly energetic radiations are passed through gas. What happens? That highly energetic particles, highly excited particles are obtained, and they will glow when they are formed. For example, in case of sun and stars, where can you find this plasma state? Means even we can create plasma state, but naturally they are present in case of sun. Why the sun is glowing? Due to very high temperature, the helium gas present in it gets into excited state. it is very highly energetic and a highly excited state, uh, because of which the sun starts glowing. And similarly, even in stars, same thing happens. And when it comes to Bose-Einstein condensate, Bose-Einstein condensate, uh, it is, the name is given because in 1920, Bose, Satyendranath Bose, he has given a idea that such state can be obtained when a gas is cooled, a very low density gas is cooled to a very low temperature, then a state will be obtained. He did not give name to that state. And even Einstein, basing on some calculations, he too predicted that another type of state other than solid liquid gases can be obtained. He too predicted. And later on in 20th century, I mean in 1995 or so on, three American scientists reached to this state by cooling a very low density gas at a very low temperature. They obtained a fifth state of matter, and now we are calling it as Bose-Einstein condensate. This is about matter types, classification based on matter and different types of matter and how many states it is existing. So I hope you liked this video, and please ignore the silly mistake that I have done in this video. This is my first video, and what is the purpose of making this video? This video series is I want to bring the whole chemistry in front of you at free of cost. I don't want to charge. You may have seen some YouTube videos that they put random videos. So in order to get complete video, what you have to do, you have to pay to them. So I want to make everything free. So please feel free, and if you have any queries, don't forget to mention in comment box. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. May peace be on all of you.